everybody, I'm back with some more chapters from our story, Sam Battles the Machine, the Erie Elementary series by Jack Chabert. And where we left off, they had found this incredible machine. It was kind of crazy and they weren't sure what was going on and what the machine was for. And Jasper Erie was saying that he did not want to bring Orson back to life. He wanted to do just the opposite. And so they were going to work together to try to defeat Orson Erie. So we are on chapter 10, and it's called A Plan Comes Together. Jasper Erie led Sam, Antonio, Lucy over to the desk. There are towering stacks of faded, crinkly papers. They contain sketches and scribbles. "These papers hold Orson's plans for the machine," Mr. Erie exclaimed. "We need to go through them and reverse his directions. We need to make the machine work backwards, and I'll need your help." Sam and Lucy picked up tools. Antonio eyed the desk. "I'm good at cursive, so I'll read the plans to you three," Antonio said. Grabbing some papers, he sat cross-legged on the floor. With that, they got to work. "Switch the vacuum cleaner to reverse mode," Antonio called out. Sam unbolted, removed, and reattached the parts. Lucy slid underneath the huge machine. "Screwdriver," she said. Jasper handed it to her. "Next," she called out, "pliers," and he rushed them over. When Lucy slid out from beneath the machine, she was covered in grease and soot. "It's like putting together a Lego set," Lucy said, smiling. "And we're making progress," Jasper said, turning a knob. Finally, Antonio pointed to a large red lever atop the machine. "There's only one last thing to do," he said. "Turn it on." Oh boy, I wonder what's going to happen. Sam climbed up on the machine. He held his breath as he pulled the lever. Varoom! A loud, high-pitched roar filled the room. The machine rumbled and smoked. Sam hung on to it as it shook faster and howled louder. "The whole neighborhood will hear that," Mr. Erie exclaimed. "Turn it off." Just as Sam yanked the lever off, he was flung across the room. The machine went still. Jasper helped Sam to his feet. With a smile, he said, "I believe we've done it. Good work, students." Antonio set down the papers. Lucy grabbed a rag and cleaned her hands. Sam wiped soot from his nose. "Tomorrow," Sam said, "we remove Orson Erie from Erie Elementary once and for all." I don't know what you're thinking, but I bet it's not going to be as easy as it sounds. Chapter 11, Close Call. The next day, Sam, Lucy, and Antonio arrived at school early. Mr. Erie was waiting with the machine. It was hidden beneath a tattered orange and green quilt. Working together, they lifted the machine up the steps and into the school. The wheels squeaked as they pushed it down the hall. "Whew," Lucy said. "I'm glad we got this thing inside before anyone else arrived." "Yeah," Antonio agreed. "Imagine trying to explain what's underneath this quilt." But just as Antonio said that, he stepped on the corner of the quilt. Whoosh! The quilt was yanked off the machine. At that exact moment, Principal Winnick stepped in from his office. "Oh no," Sam thought. "Of course the principal is here early. Our timing couldn't be any worse." It took Principal Winnick about 2 seconds to notice the machine and about another 2 seconds for his face to scrunch up. What exactly is going on here? Mr. Erie appeared speechless. Sam had no clue what to say either. But then, "They're assisting me," a voice said. Sam spun around. Relief flooded through him. It was Mr. Nakobe. "Mr. Winnick, this is a heavy-duty cleaning machine," Mr. Nakobe exclaimed. "I asked the hall monitors to help me bring it into the school early, and Mr. Erie is helping. I'll use it to scrub the paint-stained floors in the art room." Principal Winnick's face lit up. "Just in time for parent-teacher visits. Carry on." Mr. Nakobe helped Jasper, Erie, Antonio, and Lucy, and Sam pushed the machine toward the art room. "I better figure out a way to clean those floors now," Mr. Nakobe whispered to Sam with a chuckle. Sam laughed, but only for a moment, Mr. Nakobe. "Mr. Nakobe," Sam exclaimed, "I have to tell you everything we've learned. Mr. Erie is related to Orson Erie and this machine." Mr. Nakobe interrupted Sam. "No need," he said. "I will always be here to cover for you and tell you what I know, but my days of fighting the school are over." Sam nodded. "I understand." Mr. Nakobe turned away, leaving them to their mission. Soon, they had pushed the machine into the art room. They hid behind paint cans, and boxes of erasers. Okay, Sam said, let's meet here right after the final bell. Jasper ran a shaky hand through his hair. Antonio slapped him on the shoulder. Don't worry, Mr. Erie. We're used to these sorts of adventures. Sam looked at the machine one last time before Jasper covered it with a quilt. I hope this works. He turned to his friends and saw confident grins on their faces. For the first time, they felt hopeful about really beating Erie Elementary. Sam didn't want to disappoint them. That's why he didn't mention the feeling in the pit of his stomach. And that's why he didn't mention the feeling that everything was going to go horribly wrong. Chapter 12, Powering Up. When the final bell rang, Sam and his friends sprinted to the art room. Ready? Jasper Erie asked, greeting them. He was wheeling the huge machine out from its hiding place. You bet, Antonio said. He and Lucy helped Sam clear away chairs and tables, creating a space. The machine looked enormous as Jasper pushed it into the center of the room. He plugged in the power cord. Run the hoses to the walls, Jasper said, reading from Orson's old notes. We need the machine to be as connected to the school as possible. Antonio attached hoses to air ducts. Sam and Lucy shoved tubes against cracks in the cinder block wall. Then they all stared at the machine. Sam thought he saw something odd. He stepped closer. He couldn't quite tell, but it looked like, ever so slowly, a single screw was turning. Oh no, Orson Erie knows what we're doing. We can't wait any longer, Sam said. He stepped up into the chair, grabbed hold of the machine's red lever, and pulled. Boom! Sam jumped down as the machine rumbled to life. So what's supposed to happen now? Antonio asked. The machine chugged and pumped. The hoses shook and snapped against the floor. Just give it time, Lucy replied. All of a sudden, Lucy's hair stood on end. Sam felt his own hair do the same. The machine is creating static electricity, Lucy said. Like when you rub your feet on a carpet and then touch a doorknob. Sometimes I've done that before if I rub a full balloon on my hair and it makes it stand straight up. Feels really weird. The air in the room felt electric. A strange wind began to blow. Papers whirled around and the curtains waved and the lights flickered. Suddenly, the color of the walls seemed to lighten. From top to bottom, it was like the darkness of Orson Erie was being drained from the school. It's working, Jasper shouted over the rumbling machine, but Sam wasn't so sure. The bad feeling in his stomach was growing stronger. Then, smash! The ceiling lights burst. Sam, Lucy, and Antonio reeled back as the floor buckled. The room turned pitch black. Jasper tripped. Everything was quiet. No one dared speak. No one dared even breathe. Then it happened. For the first time, Sam and his friends heard the voice of Orson Erie. Orson Erie spoke to them, and what he said chilled them to their bones. Oh my gosh. So the next chapter will be He Speaks at Last. That'll be chapter 13. We will read that next time. So I will have to keep you in suspense. Until then, boys and girls, thanks for listening. Bye-bye.